very nice. And her dad was there, and he's the wizard, but she just said to me, just call him Papa. So I called him Papa, and he's lovely, and he came over, and I said, yeah, come and sit with us. And he came and sat with us, and he brought us each a wee cup of non-alcoholic wine, and that was to send good intentions and love to everyone, to help everyone to get to where they want to go at this important time. So that's what that was about. I thought that was quite sweet.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I thought so too. And then we looked into the crystal ball, because I know I've been blessed with being told and given information about I'll be rescuing animals, looking after animals, and it's called Noah's Animal Retreat. And I was just wondering, I know where the land is, and then I was wondering, at the moment it's just farmland, there's nothing there really, and I'm thinking I've got to get in and do all this stuff. And she was saying to me, as you've just said, Amelia, that all the wisdom and things will come back from past lives, but also because we're going to be in a different dimension, there will already be other beings and helpers there who have the knowledge I'm not sure of, or I don't have, about how to build, what to build, to make sure everything is there. And again, I was fortunate that you told me that you could see the pixies, and gnomes said they were going to come to help with the building, because there's going to be a lot more stuff required than I know. And then I was thinking, okay, I'm going to need like water holes or lakes or things, because I know I've seen turkeys run across my mind when I'm looking after some of these animals, and I thought, okay, I'm going to have turkeys, birds and things. So there's going to be ducks, I know that, because this is the area we're in. And then I was thinking, nature, I'm going to need beautiful trees and everything these animals will require and need for them. And we were looking into the crystal ball, and it came up, and she's pointed it out. She said the trees already know they're coming. They want to be there. They want to participate in this. This is the thing. I've got to think more than my own limited thinking at the moment. There's so much more that's possible.
Absolutely, that higher consciousnness. And I just got, before you said that, the trees will come as the crystals rise. They'll come from Middle Earth and come up. Remember, the plant base is coming up.
Yes, fantastic. That's wonderful. And I know that I'm going to have the water, because the nature people, the Sasquatch, have already said that we'll be having the water, and there's going to be a natural spring bore here with it, with the sapphire crystal water in it, and that's going to be a natural source for everything, because I have other ideas as well. My beautiful animal rescue first, but then I got other things I want to do with humanity and healing as well. So I got a lot of answers in that meditation. And just for people who may find meditation difficult, I really did, but it took getting together with a group of like-minded people, loving people who are there to support you. And I'm talking about this group, which has helped me to find my way and to be able to meditate now, because I can honestly say I couldn't before. And I've gained so much information from it and confirmation, and it helps you with your life and moving forward as we need to now. And this is just one of the meditations. We've done so many, and I'm so grateful to all of you ladies. Thanks so much. And now we're doing it like this so we can help others out there as well.
Absolutely. It's beautiful, hun. It's really beautiful. And, you know, the thing is, what we've got to remember is you just hit the nail on the head saying that. You know, we've got to remember we're going into another dimension. We don't have to worry about the hows, the whats and that, because we're going into a natural abundance. If you're in service, you're working purely for the source, everything will fall into place. It's about, you know, understanding how that works at that level. And you look at some of the people in the 3D matrix that are still stuck. You go to all the, because I watched a couple of those Lion Park places, you know, in Africa, and they struggle for money and donations, but they're in 3D. They're not doing it for the highest good of, you know, source. They're doing it for the, well, a lot of ego is in it. And also I find with them, they tend to be doing other things on the side to make money. It's all about money. It's not about the love of the actual animal and just giving it a retreat like you're going to, because I love the word retreat, how that came through, because retreat means a holiday. It means, you know, you're going to be cared for. You're going to have every experience you can have when you go to a retreat. You're going to be cared for. It's going to be like a spa, dog, cat spa. It's not going to be a cage where you put in and fed and then left. You're really going to be a retreat and care for these animals. And that's the difference. That's the vibration you're working in. Whereas you look at a lot of these lion parks and that, and yeah, they look after the animals and lovely and get support and sell t-shirts and things like that. But it's all about the greed and the egos of these guys. It's lovely to watch because I love watching the big cats and things, but it's a different energy. And so you can see the energy you're going to be working in is a completely different level. It's a love energy. It's a heart energy. That's why it's going to work for you in a different area. And that's why I said 2212, I've got this huge download about our higher selves coming in for our service roles, not for our everyday lives, purely for our service work. And we have so many different aspects to ourselves. You know, we have our service role, we have our personal side, we have our family side, and we show different sides of ourselves to people. And that's why 22 is so important, because that day is the day that your wisdom enters for your service. It's already been activated, as I said. You know, that's coming up on the 12th, 12/12 portal. And if you're not ready for service before 12/12, it's going to be really happening fast after 12/12. It all starts to fall in place, and you're all doing the work. You're putting in the energy, you're putting in the meditation work, you're putting in the thought, the creative side of it, you're already thinking about your layout of land, you know. And this is interesting because if you don't put any thought into it, you're not activating it. As soon as you put thought in, it goes out to the universe and it activates. And I mean, Glenda showed me her logo card this morning and we were talking about it, and I said, it doesn't matter if it's approved and you're just working on it now, it's out there. It's working for you already. Amazing, that's for sure. Who else would like to share their experience? You've all heard my experience, and I'd like to see what everyone else saw or had. Any ideas?
I'll share mine, see if you can figure this one out, because it was kind of strange.
All right.
So I saw the gypsy and then the man behind her, and then everything went black. And then I just got download after download about who I am, what I'm about, what makes me happy, what doesn't make me happy, and how, and basically if I'm not giving light or sharing my light and like in any capacity, I'm not happy. If it's like doing art, I have to share it. If I'm with somebody, I have to share my light. It was all about that. It was like the psychoanalysis of me. And it was just wild because it was just constant information being sent to me.
Yeah.
That was, explain that one, because it was just weird. Because it's just all black and it's just information of downloading.
Because you weren't supposed to have the visual. You were just supposed to get the download. The download was more important for you. It was easier for you to absorb.
Oh, because I usually get visuals and it was just like all black. And that's like just so much information coming.
Yeah. They wanted you to pay attention, not look at the visual. You know how sometimes they say, stop looking at that, look at something else to get the information. It's like
Right.
That's what they were saying. You don't need the visual. We're giving it to you now. It's going into that higher self. I tell you what, come 22/12, and you're going to have it all in front of you. It's just going to pour.
The visual would have distracted you.
Yeah.
Oh, but it made perfect sense, because it's like, it is, if you're not giving your light and share, you know, then it does. I'm not happy unless I'm giving. something.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not giving anything because it's just me, you know.
Yeah, but you're already working on it. It's already been put out there. The right people will find you, or you will find them. The whole role will fall into place, and that's why they gave you a download like that. It will be digesting in the system. Remember, everything takes 21 days to integrate, and so you've had a huge download. 21 days takes you right up to 22:12. That's when it's all going to come out. It's just going to pour forth.
Yay.
And then you'll know there'll be no stopping you.
Then I'll be busy. That'll be good.
Yeah, that's why they blacked it out. You know, sometimes
Oh,
you didn't like Angel Girl said, if you had the whole visual of, you know, like I had Matilda and I had Abraham and I had the gypsy caravan and everything and the cup of tea, you would have missed the important messages.
Right.
well, I feel so much better now.
Yeah, it wasn't anything dark. It was just the message was getting to you in another form. That's why when people are learning meditation, sometimes they don't see anything, but they are just being in that space, holding, as you hold space, you get downloads like Sharon. She's a space holder. She holds the space for us. But when we have an open conversation like this, who's the one that comes forth with all the information usually? Sharon, because she's absorbed it all. She's taken it in while we're doing our visual stuff. She's holding that space. She's getting all the downloads in another form. So it's just being in that space. That doesn't mean you have to see something every time. Sometimes I get distracted with the cat or something and I've got to come out of the meditation. Then I get told, oh, quick, you better go back and get them. But in the meantime, while I'm doing something, I've got downloads. So that's how it works. It's very odd. It's a very unusual theory around meditation in that space. Why do you think monks spend, 5-6 hours a day just meditating in silence? Because you just need to be in that silent space. You don't actually have to have a visual. The only reason we have a visual is because we're on little missions. They're giving us missions to lead to the next part of our growth, our ascension. And we used to do the silent ones. We can do the silent ones from now onwards if you want. I mean, that helps too. Just depends on what you feel like at the time. But I find with this group in particular, because we're sort of in tune with our missions and everything, that's what I've been getting channeled, do this one or do that one or whatever. And it seems to be helping us. We're growing and expanding so far. Proof's in the pudding. Shaz is on Facebook. Hi, Shazza. If you have any questions, do add down in the comments line. So thanks for that. Yeah, those two views are so. See how everyone has a different experience. You all got such a different experience, and I mean, for those out there that are just learning to meditate or start meditation, I started in my early 20s and I was the same. It took me a year to learn how to meditate properly. And I've told this story many times how I used to sit there and think about what I was going to cook for dinner and go off on a little, I'll be at the supermarket getting something. Oh yeah, I'm in meditation. I better get back to what I'm here to do, because your mind wanders because you're in that space of learning to control it. This is something the deep state, the Cabal has taught us, not to control our own thoughts. It's all that programming again. And so when you go into that meditation space, you have to reprogram yourself. You have to learn how to go into that space and sit in silence and clear your mind. They keep so many distractions in front of us so that we don't think for ourselves. That's the whole purpose of what they've been doing with social media and TV and movies and everything. And then they twist everything around to not let you think about it. They let you think it's truth. Anyone else like to share?
I will.
All right, hon.
I went in and my gypsy's name was Faye and her husband was Merlin. and we had tea. And I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. So I had a lot of things that I wanted to do. And she says, no, you got to pick one. So I had no clue. But when you give service in the future, you have to have one, and then the other things will come in. So today I found out that I'm going to be a cook. And I also have this thing of making spices. I blend spices for the food. I've thought about having a taco stand down in Mexico. And that was something that I really, really wanted to do on the beach.
Yeah.
And I want to travel. So I had to kind of hone it in. I also like making jewelry. I also like doing pottery. I also.
You go lay down.
Oh, she's lost her. She'll be back. She's gone quiet. She'll have to log back in. Well, she's a busy girl. She's got a lot to think about. Yep, she's gone. That's all right. We'll wait for her to come back. And something's happened to her internet, obviously. I hope she realizes that's happened. Oh, well, who else would like to have a little share in the meantime?
I will.
Yeah, all right.
As the scene was a carnival, as the meditation scene was a carnival, I quite enjoyed the carnival. I just remember it just took me back in time.
Yeah.
The horses, the merry-go-round, the horses, and I remembered the little clowns that moved backwards and forwards, and you put balls in it. So,
oh, they give me the creeps, those faces.
Well, at that time, I mean, I was more of a child, so I sort of,
Yeah.
into the amazement of all the different activities, and the Ferris wheel. So as I walked past that and I found my way to the caravan, I entered there, and I actually had a gypsy called Sabrina. She had was there. There wasn't actually an exchange of names with that, but anyway, he welcomed me.
Yeah.
We sat down, and it was suggested that we both look into the crystal ball, which we did. And basically, I got the reinforcement. Well, really, it was just being confirmed of service role that I'm in terms of animal connection. So I too are involved with the animals. Now I will be more involved with helping and assisting animals and their owners, and sort of acting as a little bit of a go-between, probably facilitating perhaps some smaller animals on the home as a means of not so much a retreat, but perhaps as a sort of a healing type thing before they go back to the owners. Just as a sort of, I see myself as a person in the middle of animals and people, and bringing the two together, potentially, or even, helping with rehousing animals, that sort of thing. And more so, what over and above what I had already was led to understand would be my service role, she mentioned that there would be probably quite a connection with elderly people that have animals that will be needing, some assistance with them, and whether that be walking them, spending time with them.
Or just even feeding them. It's hard for old people to bend down, and put the bowl down to them and then get back up, especially if they're on a walker or a stick or something like that, and they've got no family around or the family members working. There's a real area of care there that you could step into.
Absolutely. And because animals will be quite essential to those people that have them and love them, and even the ones that don't have them, the realization of what an animal can actually do, how it can enhance their life. And so that's sort of where I'm sort of in my role, still sort of like many, still unfolding.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of concept anyway. And so, but I'm, you know, I'm still open and I'm still receiving. So yeah, anything can develop from this point here, but forward. But it was really quite a rewarding situation. And the whole meditation, because I'm new to this, it's quite extraordinary when you sort of get there and then you get all this visualization.
Oh, absolutely. It's beautiful that you're getting so much already. You know, you're seeing it as it unfolds.
It's wonderful. And again, just like Teresa said, being part of such an amazing group, because for me, it was a lonely road. I felt very alone before I knew I was different from and thought differently to most people. And so you can't talk about a lot of stuff. And through Teresa, I've actually got in contact with this group, and it's just wonderful feeling part of something, being around like-minded people, and being able to really sort of develop. And you know, because this area gives you the opportunity to develop, because you know there's so many that are a lot more evolved than what I am, where I am. So it's just wonderful listening to different people's experiences and recommendations, and it's such a warm and loving group, and everybody cares for one another. It's just a wonderful space to be. So I'm just grateful too.
Oh, that's wonderful, hon. Well, I'm glad everyone feels welcome, because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a group of sisterhood or brotherhood. It's funny we don't have any men. I've been trying to encourage them to join us, but it seems to be the divine feminine is ruling all at the moment. See how powerful it's coming into its own. It's all about the divine feminine 5D. It's finally coming into its own. It's always been pushed down from the male dominance, and now it's about us rising as the stronger ones, you know, the ones that are coming forth. We're going to create new earth, not the men down here. The women are coming in. You know, it's very powerful. And I mean, I love the balance. I love to see more balance, but we're not getting it. When is the balance actually coming? That's what I'd like to know, because I haven't seen any of it yet as a new earth type of thing. When are they coming to step forward? There's a lot of spiritual men out there, but they're not putting in the work as much.
Still maybe just a bit of a macho. I don't know. That's hard to say, you know. It's still isn't it?
That's it. Maybe they've got death for the ego to go through, yeah, especially the ones that I used to work with, you know. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting point. Oh, well, that's wonderful, hun. And do you think with the elderly, you could actually take animals into the rest homes and help them heal? Like, you know how they have guest visitors, that type of thing?
It's the whole thing. I'm so open to any of those sort of suggestions, or, you know, and I just think that path will sort of open up. The more I get involved in this, the more, you know, things are going to be shown to me.
Oh my gosh, I just got a download. You're going to be like a nana to some of these pets, because some of them will have to go into rest homes and nobody will be able to look after them but you, and then you can take them to the owner to visit.
Yeah. Look, I'd be delighted to do that.
Wow, that's the point. You could be the babysitter, the nana, you know, the animal nana.
Yes.
Yeah, when you were talking, sweetie, I got a visualization of you taking animals into elderly people's homes.
Yeah, actually,
They could get the healing from the animals.
Just like they do in hospitals. Some hospitals allow animals to go in, you know, that are therapeutic. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
therapeutic animals.
Do you remember that one?
Maybe.
Sorry.
Thank you.
That's okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you remember that horse one that was all over Facebook, and he went into the ward and he went to that dying patient and he knew which one was dying? I broke down in tears watching it. It was this beautiful horse, and he went in and he put his nose down to the dying patient. It was amazing. They have that sense of knowing.
Yeah.
They're intuitive, aren't they, horses?
I keep getting the word respite as well. So elderly most of the time go into respite as a bit of a break for their carers and stuff like that. I feel that you'll be a respite person for the animals. So when elderly go into hospital short stays and things like that, you'll be there to facilitate whilst they're away and things as well for the elderly.
That's beautiful.
Yes, that's wonderful.
Listen to Miss Hold Space. See what I mean? She also just comes, she amazes me, that girl, I tell you. Sometimes I get stuck on something. I think I've got to call Sharon. I wish I could just call Sharon. I need her insight, her Orion insight. It's amazing. You know how sometimes you just think of someone that you want to talk to? Sometimes she'll put me in my place. If anyone was in my head, the one you need is the Orion when you get like that. That's amazing, because you know that's just Val's got it, Sharon's got it, and I've got it. So there you go. There's confirmation of your services and helping the elderly this way. So many of them are afraid to leave their homes. And I went out with my neighbour James last night to get some dinner, and I said to him, you know, his father's going into a home and he wants to put him in a retirement village where there's more social interaction. And I said to him, so many of the elderly are afraid to leave their homes. One, that's all they've ever known, or two, they've got pets, or three, they can't let go of their material items. And you're covering one of the main issues is they don't want to leave their pets. They don't want to have to give their pets away.
Yeah, true. Oh, it's just, yeah, it creates such a warmth.
I know. It's beautiful. Angel Girl said her internet went down, which is sad because she's got some good stuff happening there. We can get her back on next time and talk about it, because she was a potterer. She did her herbs and spices and, you know, that kind of thing. But I've always seen her cooking. I told her that once before. I got a full visual of her cooking. So she's got that mother energy, as I said. She's working with Mother Mary in the higher realms of ascended masters. She's also, as an angel, she works under Archangel Michael. So she's a healer. So she heals through giving food. You know, that's going to be her service. It's just, I believe, a beautiful service to give, because to so many people's hearts is through their stomach.
Yes.
Especially
You know,
men.
they open up and they've been fed well, right? Well, thank you. Val, did you want to add anything? Because you're interesting with your, did you say you were working with dragons or something? Because you've got that dragon energy.
Yeah, I have. Well, actually, during some of our meditations, the unicorns have kind of stepped back and let the dragons come in, because they know that the dragons have the power to finish with the cleansing, and the unicorns will be here to help those that are, I want to say, lost in their ways of thinking and stuff. You know, they have the gentle energy, while the dragons have the fire power. So, yeah. I also have worked with Merlin. Merlin's been around for a couple weeks now, and working with the elementals. And I think that's part of my service role, because I have a neighbor who's been out. She's in assisted living now, and her property has been left unattended. And since I've gone in there and started working with the plants and stuff like that, it feels more active, more happy, I guess is the word. So
you have an incredible gift like that with the drag. I notice that in all the meditations we've done, you always talk about the dragons, the unicorns, and the elementals. That's your area of expertise. That's the level of working and service you're going to be offering people. And you surprised me the other day. Well, you didn't surprise me. I thought, well, why wouldn't she have one? You know, the dragon skull. I thought, of course, Val would have a dragon skull. I didn't even know you could get them. And then you're showing it to me, and I thought, of course she would, because she works with the dragons. So, you know, this is your service. Do you think those fairies came in not long or around the time we were doing the fairy meditation?
Thank you.
When we got in with the elementals?
Not sure of your question.
Well, you know, when you went to your neighbour and you said for the last couple of weeks, you felt like the fairy energy. Well, we did the meditation about 2 weeks ago when we introduced ourselves to our fairies. So I wonder if they came with you at that time.
They could have, because I, you know, for the last couple of years, I've been, I'll go out in the garden and I'll say, you know, grand rising, everyone, and just give thanks to the trees and the plants and the animals and the fairies and the she and the elementals. In fact, I have a she guide who is Celeste, and she's been with me for 3 years now. So
She's coming in to work with you with your service role, obviously. You know, she's getting ready as well. So that's interesting.
yeah.
Because everything sort of shifted from 2020, if you remember rightly, when we all went into lockdown, everything kind of shifted. The people that were awake were getting more conscious, and the ones that were sleeping were getting into the point of fear. We were getting conscious, they were getting fear. We were getting conscious, they were getting fear. And it just went on that way for about 2 years. And now they're going to get conscious. So anyway,
I've
Angel,
absolutely got no fear
no,
at all. You know,
no.
and more excitement than anything of what's to come, you know. So and funny thing, you're talking about the dragon and the unicorn energy. On Saturday night, I've just I was watching a live crystal shop type thing on Facebook, and I bought myself a dragon skull in the unicorn stone, which it's absolutely gorgeous. So once I get it, I'll post some photos for you all to see.
Oh, that's
that
the
beautiful.
unicorn
opalite?
stones.
Is it the
Yeah,
opalite?
absolutely amazing.
Is it what? Sorry, Val?
Pardon?
Val.
The opalite. It's opalite. That's the unicorn
opalite?
stone.
No.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
unicorn.
okay. No, unicorn stone that I know of and that I'm talking about, it's a combination of different crystals. So it's got some smoky quartz, lepidolite, pink tourmaline, and it's like a mixture of colors. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, because the
So it's
unicorns
pinks and
are
purple,
rainbow.
pinks and
So the opalite,
so it's pinks and purples and whites and browns, and it's so pretty.
all the beautiful pastels. And see, opalite is known for unicorn energy, you know, especially with the children, opalite, because it opens up communication. But you might have with the way they've described it as a dragon crystal is because it's a combination of all the dragons representation into that skull. So it could be really, really powerful.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see the photo.
Yeah, I can't wait to get it.
I love opalite. It's my favorite stone. One of my favorites. I had a beautiful necklace in it and it broke and I never got it replaced. So I'm on the lookout for a decent one. Angel Girl's back. Yay. She made it.
My internet went down. I mean, everything dropped. TV went off, phone went off, everything.
Oh, what does that mean? Woohoo.
Too much energy in the house. Yeah.
All right. So you were telling us about your skills. So the last thing we heard was you've been envisioning yourself as a cook in Mexico. So off you go.
Yeah. And I like feeding people. It makes me feel good. It's my love giving it to someone else. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on now. And I've had affirmation today that that's what I'm going to be doing. So I had my calling before was I was an angel rescuing the children. And they told me now that I'm retired and that I will just pick up where I'm needed and enjoy, just enjoy. So that's what I'm going to do. I also had a hard time meditating. I just lost my husband, so I was going through a lot and I couldn't concentrate. So it took me probably 6 to 8 months to reel it in. And then after he passed, I just flew because I had more time to spend on me. And I got to talk to my angels, talk to my guides, hone everything in and go from there. And it's really been a blessing.
Wow. Well, you've done about 2 years work in about 3 months. I mean, it just came online like that, didn't it? Really, it was like an explosion of information.
Yes.
I think that's why you're going into the role that you are, because as people start to wake up, they'll talk to you as they come to buy food off you. And you'll be able to say, well, I actually went through that in 3 months after my husband passed. So I know exactly how you feel. And I'm an angel, so I can also help you in another form, you know. This is where our service roles are going to help us. And just as you got disconnected, I said, one way to people's hearts is through their stomachs. Remember that. Food opens people up. It's a form of communication. How often do you sit down and first thing you talk about is the food you're about to eat? It's just a beautiful way to communicate with people and get your service out there. So now the next thing I want to talk about, thank you for all your experiences. Anyone that's listening, do let us know how you feel about your service role. Make comments, you know, if this goes on YouTube, let us know, because we can help guide you in a way that we're learning as well. We're finding out what our service roles are. Shasta went to a crystal shop in the hills here in Perth. It is the second time I've been there. I keep getting back vibes off the owner. Oh, well.
I would go back.
Don't go
I wouldn't
back.
go back.
No, don't go back. Because they're in it for the wrong reason.
Save yourself.
Yeah. And she picked that up. That's good, Sharon. You picked it up. You're aware of the fact that you're getting a bad vibe off her. So don't go back. You went back a second time to double check, kind of. You know, you were getting confirmation straight away. Don't go back. Absolutely. And there was a crystal shop like that here in Brisbane, and I got a bad vibe from it, and I never went back. It just felt dark. You know, it was the wrong, felt more witchcrafty, like yuck.
I was gonna say something, I think, and I didn't really say in my service role is, but I think part of it was the giving light is because I have to give light to all these children. And I have to be part of myself to help them. So I just wanted to clarify that probably is related to that.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not happy unless I'm giving something to them or giving to other people part of me to help them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think you're going to be working with the spectrum children. Absolutely, you are. But you've got the fairy energy too. You've got that fairy pixie energy as well with the Syrian side. So you're in tune with the dolphins and the mermaid energy, which a lot of these spectrum children are in contact with. You just need to help them open up to it.
Because when you're around them, you have to feel them with your heart and not your mind.
Absolutely. You've got the code within you to do that. You're bringing, anchoring in those codes to New Earth in your service role, like Nancy is with food, like Glenda and Teresa are with animals. You've got the codes within you. You were given them when you arrived. So you're just going to learn how to bring them forth now and use them in your service role. So it's going to be interesting to see what you do in your future with the children, especially they're so misunderstood, as you know. You've had one yourself, so you know what it's like to see them being misunderstood.
Absolutely.
In fact, you'll find that a lot of them will just want to be sort of magnetically attracted to you. They'll just start coming to you.
Because sometimes I will see them and I'm magnetically attracted to them. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, well,
you're not my child.
well, you never know. They might have been in another lifetime. So the next thing I want to talk about, talking about witchcraft, which in a positive light, the Salem witch trials. Now we've got a meditation coming up, not this week, but the following week on the Salem witch trials. And the reason I wanted to do that was it wasn't one that I was guided to do in the sense as part of our ascension. I channeled it because they've been done wrong. So the story around the Salem witches were light workers. They were actually light workers making their own products, like, I guess, oils and essences and herbs. Absolutely. And so, you know, the deep state cabal people that were trying to form other things were trying not to let them do that. And so they called them witches and had them all hung. And they were all sacrificed. And the beautiful light workers that were coming to do their work, they came too early, obviously, in a way, but they also came to show us that as light workers and as natural remedies, and it's there, it's available. They were doing it back then, you know, it's how long it's been hidden from us and taken away from us. So we're going to be doing this meditation coming up about, well, I guess we're going to look at how it all unfolded and then correct it and return the energy back to the light workers, because they sacrificed their lives, and a lot of them were children. You realize they went in and took the parents and the children. So we need to go in and fix that. What are your thoughts on it, guys?
Most definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
I was killed because of the healing I did with the herbs and stuff. So they called me a witch because, you know, I could cure people and with the herbs, and they didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I was young at that time. I was probably, I don't know, 18, 20, 22, something like that.
Do you remember being there? Like, were you in Salem at the time, or was it another town or somewhere that you might have been?
It was a little town, and actually there were like overseers of the towns where they came in, you know, and they took taxes and stuff like that, and they did all the laws and stuff like that. And that's what I had. There was, I pissed off somebody, and they went and they told the higher ups that, you know, I was a witch because I cured somebody with herbs and stuff.
Wow. And it's interesting that they do that now. You know, they've been doing that for so many years with naturopath, and, you know, how many doctors used to hoo-ha, you know, natural remedies and naturopaths. I mean, I remember I took my daughter to a doctor and he kept treating her with hydrocortisone for eczema. And I said, this is not good for a child on her skin. You know, I want to do something else. And I found a naturopath who used the pendulum to put the ingredients together. And oh yes, she had a bad reaction. Like, it brought all the anger and the redness out of her skin, but put the eczema away. She had to go through a bit of pain to get it out of her body, but once it was out, it never came back. And, you know, I would have had to spend years and years putting hydrocortisone on her. And I'm glad that I went that road. Yes, I saw her in pain, which was hard. That, you know, at times I was thinking, are these herbs working or not? Because, you know, she was bad. I used to have to soak her in kind of tar salt and that at night. She couldn't have soap or anything near her. But she came right afterwards. It came out of her body, and that's because they heal. The natural herbs do heal. And they say there's a plant in this earth for every condition. And, you know, they weren't put on this earth for any other reason but to heal. And with Middle Earth starting to open up and all the plants rising, they're going to tell us what they're good for. You only got to cut something open and see the inside of it, and it tells you what part of the body it's good for. You know, you cut a nut open and you know it's good for the brain because it looks like, you look at a walnut, it looks like a brain. It's good for your brain. You know, you look at a tomato, look at all the heart vessels in it. It's good for your heart. You know, and this is like the same with plant-based medicine. You look at the leaf, you look at the veins, you think, oh yeah, that's good for blood pressure. It's good for this, it's good for that. And this is what people are going to start learning. And so these ones that were at the Salem witch trials, they were the ones that were hung for it. So we have to go back and correct that. So in a couple of weeks, we'll do another conversation around it and just see what we get and how we help them, because there's a lot of lost souls there that need to be healed that were hung for doing good work. And I feel, you know, it's all been manipulated for people to believe in that they were dark witches. They weren't. They were here doing good.
Right.
And I can't even remember how that came about. Someone was talking about it in the chat room and I got downloads, and then someone said, yeah, they were light workers. And I said, absolutely. That's why did this happen? How can we fix it? You know, especially now as we go into this new energy of plant-based medicine, plant-based food, you know, we need to go and fix it for our own services, because if that energy carries on through, we're going to carry it with us. It's like the money blessing. You must bless your money and clear all that dark energy off it before you reuse it. Send it out into the world with good energy. And it comes back that way to you with good energy. And it's the same with all this other stuff we're getting ready for in service. So it just made sense to me to do something. So that's, I think, 2 weeks, or I think it might have been a Sunday. So we've got that coming up. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, we're going to meet Miley on Wednesday from the Earth Federation. Who's excited about that? What do you hope to gain from it?
I want to know if they're doing something down here in Florida, because there's been a lot of planes going and coming.
You mean like
Blue Angels, we've got the Coast Guard. We had a plane come over that had Patriots on the nose of the plane.
Cool.
Oh, something's gone down. That'll be interesting to ask her. Well, she's going to, what I've heard, I haven't channeled it yet, but she's going to take us like Commander Usher did, tour the ship. But she's going to show us the work they've been doing, and yeah, what they've done in South America, what they did in Europe, what they did over the UK, Middle East. So we'll get in. It all connects to the meeting we had with Greg with the 13 chakras of Earth and what's happening and how they're clearing it, like the airways and the waterways and detoxifying everything, because there's a lot of sprays and everything too, you know, in our plant-based medicine and plant-based food. That all has to be cleared. I mean, you can have a green organic place next door to a farmer that sprays.
Right.
They've got to clear all that for our new food source. So it'd be interesting to talk to her and see. They're very much into cleaning up the environment. And I think she also did Antarctica. So it'll be good to see. There's Miley and there's Jojo, the Commander Jojo. And I've done drawings of them, which I'll add in afterwards, Miley and Jojo. But you might meet other crew members. You might know someone on there. You've probably been with her before. I know some of you probably have. So it'd be interesting to see. And she was on Earth recently. She was in Florida, actually. She told me she was in Florida. She was doing, she was on the military base there. I can't remember. They were doing meetings or something, Miley's team.
There's one up in Pensacola, and then there's military base. I think there's one down by Key West, that area, the south part of Florida.
Well, you'll be good to know in the meditation for her, because she'll be able to tell you exactly where they've been and what they've been doing there. Because I know she was working on the ground level with the military, because that's what she does. She works with the US military and the Federation that work with the environment. It's not the Federation of Light, it's called the Earth Federation for those that don't know. And they specialize in the 5D higher consciousness environment. They're helping all elementals, dolphins, whales, dragons, humans, you name it. They're helping us all. It's a huge undertaking. And as she said, the waterways especially need a lot of cleaning. So, because everything has fallen from the skies into the water, and that's our source.
Yeah.
So these sapphire crystals to come up and clear the water has to be cleared first to make the crystals do their bit as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all unfolds, actually.
I have a picture of her with a beam, and
With a
she's
beam.
cleaning the skies, I think. And I'd like to know what that does, how it works. Yeah. And what they do when they clean it.
Wow.
Where does it go?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, she's excited. I know that, because when I've been channeling her, she said, I can't wait to meet your team. They're ready to meet me now. You know, she said, I can't wait to meet them and start working with them, because she's going to come and work with a lot of you in your services, especially on the land, environmental issues. So it's going to be really interesting. So that's coming up this Wednesday. So I can't wait to do that. Anything else you want to cover off before we finish up? Who's on?
I
Well,
like to-
did you hear that there
Oh.
was a volcano erupted in Indonesia?
Saw that. Yeah. That's
Oh,
good.
today.
Yeah, saw that. And Samoa. Maureen posted the one in Samoa was 6.7. It's huge. It's bigger than the Christchurch earthquake that destroyed half Christchurch in New Zealand.
Wow.
So all these land activations that we're working with Greg and our own team, we're doing some good stuff because everything's rising. And they reckon that that's what's going to happen. All the volcanoes are, you know, they're like the ring of fire. They're all working off each other. It's like they're all coming into balance now, you know, and you can just see it happening. It's like one over here, then one goes off here, and then this way, you know, they're all working off one another. I wonder what's going to happen in New Zealand, you know. Because you've
I'd
got,
like to ask a question.
yeah.
You know, when we, I just, this never has been addressed really. You know, when we say we're working on the ships and we're working elsewhere, what's a general term for that? Are we in another dimension? Is that the astral? You know, would explain things to people, and you know, what's a one generalized term to explain where that place is?
Yeah, it's dimensional.
It's dimensional. Okay.
It's dimensional. We actually, I think we talked about it last time. We talked about it being dimensional. So it's the same as your sleep state. Think of your sleep state. You dream.
Because I understand it, but I mean, some people may not understand that if they've never heard that term or understand that, you know, where we go and
Yeah.
things that we do. And it was just like, what's a
Yeah.
general term to help people understand that whole concept?
Well, the way I describe it to people, especially when I'm doing one-on-ones and they don't know about the dimensions and the matrix and all that, you know, it's you're in dimensions all the time. In your sleep state, when they put you under an anesthetic, you're in another dimension. And they do this all the time with operations and that they dull you down and put implants in you at that time. And there's other dimensions where you're moving and shifting throughout during the day. You walk from one room to another, you're going into another dimension. You walk into your bathroom from your passageway, it's another dimension. Bathrooms are usually portals.
Okay, that explains what's going on here over there.
Especially
It's
if
more simple the way you explain it.
especially when you've got a skylight above you and a bathroom. The skylights are portals. That's why you always get
That makes
downloads in
sense.
your bathroom.
Okay. What's the difference between dimensions and quantum
That's another name.
for dimensions?
Yeah, it is. It's just another name because, you know, on the Matrix, you know, the movie The Matrix, they talk about the quantum. It's just another
I never
Matrix,
saw it.
quantum, and dimensions are all
Okay.
different. Whereas frequency is what you feel.
Yes.
Frequency is what you feel. Dimensions, matrix, quantum are all different levels. Quantum can also be a different energy, like like they're talking about on the quantum internet. It's a different dimension on the internet. It's not down here in what they have so forth now, that's managed internet by Bill Gates, and that quantum internet is a different internet controlled by the galactics, by the universe. It has no control on the 3D matrix or the world, or it's not even here on Earth. Quantum is off Earth, so it can never be hacked. You know, it can never be. That's why we're going to have our digital folders in the quantum. Only you will have access. The ones that they're trying to sell here to you on the 3D matrices, so they can hack you and get all your information and own you. But the ones on the quantum that they showed me in the geek meditation, nobody has access to that. Even they don't know what's in there. It's only you with your frequency activates it when you get your phone, your Q phone.
Sweet.
It will never be hacked. Government won't be able to see what's in your bank account. Tax departments won't be available anyway. They've all gone under. They've been closed down. So that's how the quantum works. It's on a different level and it's owned up there in the galaxies somewhere. I'm not sure who owns it. That's another thing we can ask Miley about, the new Starlink and how that's all working out, because we still don't have a full understanding. I mean, yeah, sure, to say it's all connected to, I won't mention his name because we could get taken down, but you know who I'm talking about, who just supposedly bought Twitter, which he didn't. You know, why does he own it or create it? We need to find out the truth around that system too. So Miley will know. We can ask her.
Cool.
Actually, we should have asked Jimmy when we were there. Didn't think of it. All right. Well, I guess that ends our little panel discussion today. Leaves it open to many people to talk to us and leave us messages. I can't see who's on Facebook. And it's interesting because the feedback I've been getting on YouTube, people come back and message me personally and they say it's a really good platform because it makes it more understandable. You know, it's just everyday people having a chat, having a coffee or a drink of water or whatever. It's not like it's a performance where they put on a whole show. You know, a lot of these truth speakers and light workers, they put on the whole show, don't they? It's kind of like you, by the time you get through the whole introductory, you want the content and give us the content. So it's more, it makes it more real. We're real and we're here to help people. Do you have a message for anyone that's going through ascension or anyone that needs help at this time, especially as we come up to the pressure of Christmas?
Don't worry, just trust everything will work out.
The light,
Exactly.
yeah, the light has won anyway. It's been a spiritual warfare since the beginning of time, and the light has finally won. It's taken a long time, but I tell you what, it's well worth it because we're getting eternity out of it in that way. And to get to that point, I've had to go through all these different generations and so forth for us to learn by it. You know, Earth is a school. Remember that. A lot of the star seeds come back to Earth for schooling. Another thing I wanted to touch on, which I totally forgot about, and I just got an update about the Orion children coming, you know, mid next year from August, September, October. So again, it's been confirmed it's more Librian energy. And early in the year is more the Andromedans coming along to work with the Orions for the rebuild. And the rebuild doesn't mean a physical rebuild, it means a creative build. So they can create, they can rebuild, they can put all the physical in, or the mental, or the artistic flair. The Orions are the brain and the leadership. So that's how it works. They'll be the leaders and they'll come in and they'll direct, and then you'll have the Andromedans coming in and making it happen. They'll do the magic. The Orions will bring in the thought, the planning, the logistics, the way they think. And so this is all being shown to us very clearly as we go into 12-12. Does that make sense to you, Sharon? Ryan?
100%, you're in my head. Just some thoughts for people going into Christmas and the new year and the events that are going to unfold is just to switch the TV and the radio off.
Yeah.
Don't get the media is showing, because a lot of it is BS. And take the time to spend with your family and connect and be present, and ignore all of the fear mongering going on around us. Use your own discernment as to what is true and correct, and go within for answers. Don't look outside for answers, because that's where they're feeding you crap. Go within. Your higher self knows the answers, and trust that the universe will provide everything that you need.
Wow, great insightfulness, hun. Love it. And you couldn't have said it even more beautiful. I mean, this is what people have got to understand. They've been so programmed to the fake information, and a lot of it's got to remember is crisis actors and that as well that you're seeing on TV. It's not really happening. Shazza says, I'm enjoying learning about everything. Sometimes it gets overwhelming, and that's what we're here for, to simplify it. That's why I ask as many questions as you can. We try to download it. We try to get insightfulness. That's what it's all about. So Sharon, thank you for sharing on Facebook. I'm not sure who else is on. I can't see. All right, guys, take care. Much love, light, and